Kaylee, and today I'm going to tell you about my one really weird reading habit. Lately, and I'm talking just like in the last year, I have developed this really strange new reading habit, and I'm just like, where did this come from? Why is this happening to me? This is not how I wanted this to go. And this is not clickbait, you guys. Like, I know the title sounds very clickbaity, but this is something that's really happening to me, and it's freaking me out, okay? I don't know, I figured I would just talk to you guys about it and maybe get some ideas from you. Have you ever experienced this? Am I just completely crazy? What is going on with this weird reading habit? I don't know what's going on. If you enjoy this video, please do subscribe and give the video a big thumbs up. It really does make me happy just to know that you guys are enjoying my videos. All right, here it is, the weird reading habit that I can't seem to stop myself from doing. I stop reading a book right before the big action scene or the big reveal. The big mystery is about to be solved. The big battle is about to happen. Swords are drawn. We stand on the edge of a precipice. I mean, like the top of the roller coaster is about to fly down the other side. The big goal that the characters have been working towards is almost about to be accomplished. The big villain is about to be vanquished. The big secret of the entire book is about to be revealed. Like, it's not revealed yet, but you know it's coming. And I stop reading. I put down the book. Right then, like right before the big moment, I lose interest. I put down the book. I don't pick it up for a couple of days. And I just think, do I want to read that? I don't know. Whatever. I'll just read something else. I'll just watch TV. I'll just scroll social media. And it's like I have to force myself to go back and read the big secret, the big reveal, the big battle, you know, the conclusion. Why am I doing this? This has never happened to me before. Usually that's the point where you stay up till 2 a.m. to finish the book because you can't stop. You can't, stop then. Like, that is the point when all the momentum is pulling you into the story and you don't want to stop reading. Usually that's how I would read. I would not stop reading. I would follow that momentum and continue reading through the big secret, the big reveal, the big conclusion. But somehow now, just this year, I stop before that point. Why? So I have some ideas about why I'm doing this, and you guys can tell me what you think and if you think any of these ideas are valid. So number one, it could just be that I'm bored by any action or battle scenes. I mean, and this is kind of true sometimes, like when I'm watching a movie, I'm like, yeah, battles, can we get back to some dialogue? Because what I really care about is like the character development, the relationships. I like the puzzle aspects of the story. So it could just be that I'm putting down a book because here comes the big battle scene and I'm like, just skip that. Reason number two, it could be that I just don't want the book to end. So I stop before I get to that roller coaster moment when you have to continue to the end of the book because I don't want to finish the book. I want to be able to stay in kind of that headspace of the story without it having to be over. Could be a reason. Reason number three, maybe I've already figured out what's going to happen in the book. I've already figured out the big reveal. I already know who murdered the person. I already figured out the big mystery that has to be solved. I don't know, I like to think of myself as a fairly astute reader. So maybe I just figured it out and here comes the big reveal and I'm like, not interested. I already know. Or maybe I haven't figured out what's going to happen, but I love that feeling of suspense. So I want to keep that feeling of suspense for longer. I don't want the big reveal, the big secret, because I don't know, if I know the secret, then it's like all the information, there's no mystery anymore, there's no suspense anymore. I already know all the information and then the thing that's drawing me in is gone. I don't know, I don't think that's it. That one doesn't sound like me. I don't usually like suspense. I like to know things. I like to feel safe in knowledge. I don't like hanging in the air wondering. So I'm not sure about that one. That one doesn't really sound like that's me. At this point, I'm just brainstorming. I'm just like, I don't know. So I'm just brainstorming random stuff. Okay, another possibility is that I lose momentum when I'm reading because I'm looking for a more balanced pace. So like constant rest in the scenes or constant action is too boring. You need a pacing where they have action, then they rest. They have action, then they rest, you know. So if the pacing isn't good in the story, then I might stop reading because I'm looking for better pacing. And so if I stop, it's like a moment of rest in the pacing, and then I'm ready to come back for some action. That's a possibility. Now here, I think this one is maybe the real thing, is that I'm afraid that I'm going to be too upset and emotional at the ending. And so I don't want to read it. I'm like, I am not emotionally ready for this. I can't handle this. And so I just stop and I'm like, I can't deal with this today. I'll have to read that some other day. So that is a very real possibility. And I mean, it is 2020, people. And it's like, I do not have the emotional space for some of this stuff. You know, 2020 has been an emotional year, y'all. So that one I feel like is definitely a real reason. I just feel like whatever's coming, I'm worried that I'm going to be too upset by it. Another thing is that I'm worried if I'm going to be disappointed in the ending. Like, I've been with these characters through so much through this story, and what if the ending just doesn't live up to the rest of the story? What if it just doesn't live up to the hype? Looking at you, Divergent, you know? Like, I'm just worried that I'm going to be disappointed, and so I just want to stop before I get to that disappointment. Another one that I'm just kind of brainstorming, but I don't really feel like that's the real thing, is it could be that I just want to imagine my own ending. I'm worried I'll be disappointed in the ending, so I just want to imagine what I would make it be if I was writing the story, and I don't want to read it because I just want to have my own imaginary happy ending. But I don't know, I don't feel like that's a thing that I'm doing. Like, when I put the book down, I'm not imagining what I think is going to happen next, really. I'm just kind of letting it sit there. I'm not really thinking forward in the story of what I think is going to come. I'm just, it's just sitting there. It's not like I'm thinking through it or something. It's just kind of blah. Now here's another one that I think is a definite possibility. You know, chapter breaks often happen right before a big reveal to create more suspense. Cliffhangers at the end of books are really popular in series and of course in chapter breaks. Chapters are designed to have a stopping place, but to also, you want to keep reading because there's a question that has not yet been answered. But maybe my brain has just been conditioned to stop at the chapter break, to think that that place of suspense is a natural stopping place. You know, does that make sense? Like, chapter breaks are designed to stop at a suspenseful place that will make you want to keep reading, but chapter breaks are also supposedly a natural stopping place in where you're reading. And so maybe my brain has been conditioned to put those two together, and now anytime that there's suspense, I think of it like a chapter break. I think of it like a stopping place. Oh, now there's a big reveal about to happen. Now I'm going to stop. I'm weird. I don't know. Now this one is another big one, very, very big, because I do a lot of my reading at work in between customers and in between phone calls. So I think that I'm worried that I'll get all excited and into the story and then I'll be interrupted. And I hate being interrupted when I'm in the middle of an amazing story. So right when I know that it's about to get really good, and I know that for this next scene, I will not want to be interrupted. And so I stop and I think, oh, well, I'll read that part later when I'm at home, when I'm sure that, you know, nobody's going to be interrupting me or bothering me. Then I'll just read that later when I'm sure that I can really immerse myself in the story. So I think that one is a definite reason for some of the times, at least, that I have stopped reading something. This next one is another kind of 2020 sort of related reason, and it's that the more complicated and chaotic that the plot gets, the more I wish that life were simple. This one kind of goes along with the being worried that I will be too emotional and upset by something. As the action ratchets up to the big battle scene and the big confrontation with the bad guy, then I just feel like I don't want that confrontation. I don't want that chaos. I have enough chaos and confrontations in my life already, okay? I am dealing with enough. And I just wish that things were simpler and happier. And I know that somehow on the other end of that battle scene, I hope, there will be some kind of resolution and happy ending, but it's like, I don't want to go through the chaos to get to that point because my life already feels chaotic. So I stop reading and I go do something simple like wash the dishes or play piano or something that's familiar and comforting because I don't want the chaos. And my final reason that I think why I have this really weird reading habit, and I'll tell you, this one is the one. This one is the real reason. I'm insane. Yes, she said with a big smile. I'm crazy. I'm just insane. Yep, that's what it is. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know, have you ever had something like this where right at the point of the book where you should keep reading, for some reason you stop? Please let me know your reasons down below. And feel free to comment on whether or not I am just losing my mind. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.